All right, I'm Emily Laidlaw. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's workshop is Gaming Your Drill, and it's actually Gaming Your Drill in Review, but we're going to talk about gaming. And since you're here, I assume you already know the value of games. I love games myself. I like to have fun, but I notice, and I think we've all noticed, that kids do better when they don't feel it's a high stakes task, and when they see it in a game, it becomes less onerous. It could be the exact same things you would do not in a game, but if you say it's a game and slap some points on it, do something, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, kids perk up. And our kids, our struggling readers particularly, who have felt so beaten down by the world and by the system, need that, to have some of that burden relief. I don't know where I was, but we were talking about the value of games and how games help our students relax. We can do the same activities that we had planned not in a game, but if we do it in a game, it helps them. And the more calm the system is, the better they can learn. There's a quote floating around that says that it takes 1/20th the number of repetitions to learn something in a game versus not in a game, and to make the neural connections. And I can't find the origin of that quote. Actually, there's a name associated with it, but I can't find the actual citation. And I wrote to the organization, and I said, where did this quote come from? And I didn't get a response, but someone else did who was more tenacious than I. And they said that the researcher did say that, but she then passed, and the organization can't find the material on which it was based. But it was said, but I just don't have a citation. But in any case, we can feel it in our bones. The kids learn faster and have better recall if they play it in games. So we're going to talk about games. So I have, if you want to look at what I do have on Teachers Pay Teachers, it's here. My website is here. That's my email. You can ask me any questions. If you want to send me something, this is my Venmo, my PayPal, or you can do it through my Zelle, this email address for my Zelle. So there's that. Now, I just want to share this because it was the cutest thing ever. We as tutors and teachers impact people. I was working with my student yesterday. I was wearing a purple shirt with my jeans jacket and this headset. And the family is so pleased with the effect of what we're teaching to the middle, the daughter that I'm working with, that the whole family respects it. This is the little sister. She wanted to have time with Miss Emily. So she drew this. So this is her Zoom session with Miss Emily, and she's doing her homework there with Miss Emily. So we all get this, but this is the impact we have on families. When we teach someone to read, we're not just impacting that one student. We get to impact the families. Anyway, so I love games. Games tend to take longer. Are they worth it? If we have limited time and our students come to us 1, 2, 3, 4 years behind, maybe even more sometimes, we want to be as efficient as possible. Are they worth the time? So we have to be efficient. So yes, I love playing games, but I want to be very judicious about my games, in that my games truly support what I'm trying to teach and don't just take too much time for very little results. So when I'm in the school, I play games. And so I taught in a classroom for years and then did tutoring in a private school. I have reading intervention now in a public school, and then tutor in the afternoons. I do games all the time. If I'm blending, if I'm doing my card drill, I generally do it with my cards. It's now electronic, but I generally do it. But once a week, once every 2 weeks, I pull something out and the kids are like, oh yes, we get to do the cups. It's the exact same thing, but we're doing it with cups. Why do cups make it easier or better or more fun? But they do. And I have just a set of these little Dixie cups, which I just dropped all over my floor. And let me stop share for a sec. And I would play and I would say, put the kids in groups or teams or whatever. And I'd say, sound is, and a couple of people unmute so we can have some extra sound on here besides me dropping my cups. Thank you. Sound is?
What?
Excellent. I'm going to put it over here on your table. Sound is? Do you know the other sound? Excellent. I'm going to put this here on your table. And here, sound is? And excellent. This goes over here to your team. At the end, they've all got the cups, they've got the stacks, and then we sit there and we blend. And I would say, and we sit there and blend, and we would add on the, and it's just a blending drill. Why do cups make it more fun? I don't know, but they do. And the kids ask if they can do cups. It's like, okay. And this does not take me any longer than doing my card drill. So this is a win. And I'm going to have to take a second and pick up all the cups before I ruin them. Oh, sorry. I'll show you that one. This is what's up next. This is just upwards. I would take a used game of upwards, lay out the tiles, spray paint it, so I could actually put the phonograms or the digraphs, whatever, on one tile. And then we do the same thing. We'd hold it up and say, sound is, and someone would respond and go on and do the sounds. And then we'd sit there and blend with it. And I will show you, of course, this is, and I might put 2 or 3 different right? So we've all played games like this in class, I'm assuming. So that's just upwards, super fast. That really doesn't take me any longer than doing a card drill and blending. And why do kids like it? Okay, and then I would do Jenga, and my kids love Jenga. And on my Jenga tiles, what I did was I would put 2 sets, so I'd have 2 sides, this side or this side. And after they pull it out, I figured, they would at least know one of them. Most of my kids would know one, and they'd tell me the sounds. And if they knew both, it was great. And we didn't restack on top, we just kept it and went until someone made it fall, and everyone would laugh and have fun. And then they just get some, and then they would sit there and try to blend on the table, make something pronounceable. And when I say make something you can say, it helps them, because then they're thinking about what is a legitimate combination, right? Because they're not going to they'll realize that they can't put the QU at the end. Or if someone tries to put a W at the end, someone else will say, oh no, remember that's the AW, that says aw. And that thought process, I think, is very valuable for them, because we want kids to recognize what is a legitimate pattern in our English language, right? That connection to orthography. And
Lily, can I interrupt, please, and ask a question about Jenga?
Yeah.
So normally in Jenga, you start out with that tall tower and people pull out one at a time. So it looks like
top.
So it looks like students have the whole universe of the tiles. They're making a word out of 3 tiles.
Oh, it's just, my kids might make 2, 3. I can occasionally get students to make one out of 4. But because I put, you can see the OA is on one and the EW is on one, or the WR. So I haven't asked them to do multisyllabic. These are my little ones. And We just make words. Make something you can pronounce. A syllable you can pronounce is what I would say. Okay. And then, and I'm sure we've all played. Do I have a picture? I don't think I have a picture. We'd have all played boomsticks, where you hold the stick up, they choose a stick, say it, and then if they choose one, you know, hold their sticks, and if they choose one with the boom on it, they lose their stick, they lose their pile, and who has the most piles at the end. But same thing at the end, after we've gone through our sticks, we would then say, make something you can pronounce. And they'd gather with their sticks and make different combinations and try to pronounce it. So I like in-person games. I like this bit of activity and interaction and this extra way of thinking about things. And I had already moved almost all of my content material to digital before we were shut down. But I would just grab a game and go to my groups, or grab a couple of games and go to tutoring. But I then had to make all of, it's like, oh, I need games again for virtual. And I hadn't done that before the pandemic, but I've got it now. So this was one of my favorite things I would do. I've done this for years. I started out with just a plastic shower curtain, and I would write on it, or a tablecloth, and I would write on it. This is actually a piece of that not neoprene. What's that stuff that Zodiac boats are made out of? But anyway, it's a sturdy fabric. And I just laid out my phonograms, my graphemes on it. And we would come in and I could have them do spelling practice. And they would say, you know, the word is, and I forget what word they had spelled here at this day when I took this picture. But the kids would gather around and they would spell it with their feet or with their hands. Or we would do a sound drill and I would say, what says A? And someone says, you know, A says A, another one, AI says A, or AY says A, and they would stomp it. And we would do a drill this way, just that would get them up, get them moving out of their seats, and it resets the brain. Movement, I find, resets the brain. And I'm missing something in chat. Okay. So this is one of the really fun things we've done in person. And here we've played this. Join you after. Okay, I need to send a link to someone. We would do this with, this is my summer group, and we would do the same thing, spelling and sounds drill and whatnot. And then in the back here, I don't know if you can see it, I made it larger. I always have a beach ball with my various graphemes on it. And we'd take a second stand in a circle and toss the ball. And I would say, you know, today, right thumb. And so whatever your right thumb hit, that's what you were going to say. Or I'd say left thumb. And that day we're going to hit the left thumb or something crazy. And let them, someone's could mute, thank you. Let them grab the ball, say the phonogram, show everybody. And if they don't know it, everyone else would help them respond with whatever it was. Or if it's I would have two balls, like one ball with just the alphabet for my really littles, and then one with all of them. And if it's one that we hadn't been taught yet, I could say, oh, you know, that one's the O that comes at the end of a word, like toe, or whatever it is. Or they could just pick the next one over that was closest to them. Twister mats, yes. Yes, twister mats, I think, have 20 spots or 24 spots. I made 70 or 63. So, you know, this is where my mind goes, and I like to get kids to do things and just break the situation. I also use games as a behavior incentive. So if I have a student who's getting really, you know, shutting down, having a hard time, it's like, okay, we're going to have one more, you know, we're going to read or write or dictate one more word, and then our next activity is a game. and that would get them through. So I love games for this. And so I have, over time, made games that I can do any part of my lesson almost with a game. And if I need to, I pull one of those that day. So let's talk about, okay. Let's talk about the other ones. So I was told that I couldn't have the kids down on the twister mat as much. So I could only have 2 at a time on the twister mat. So then I made a finger twister, is what I'd call it. And so there was just 2 in their tables and their little bubbles. And we would do the same thing and they would do it as a finger twister. So I have this that I can share with you. Okay, so there's the various parts of a lesson that I thought we might think about what we can do to game. So visual drill, I showed you what I can do in person. Auditory drill, the what says. Blending, I actually, I think blending is really important, and I am the proponent of continuous blending. I don't mess around with it. I don't play around with any blending until I know they're blending properly continuously. And in that case, once they're blending properly continuously, I might play the cups, the sticks, the upwards, but my blending part, I want to happen just like this. So I rarely make a game out of blending other than the cups type of thing, but I will show you the ones I have. And intensive. So I know we often talk about vowel intensives, but often I find our kids need more than just a vowel intensive. They might need a BD intensive. They might need something else. A skill review of something that's already been taught, high frequency words, fluency and vocabulary. I hope to get to some of the things I do here. Okay, so what makes a good game? Element of conflict or competition so that it's not total chance, and you must make the skill part of the game. For me, I like to have the skill part of the game, not just there are many sorts that are out there. You don't even have to read to do the sort, right? There's a lot of them on WordWall where it's just, which one has the OR? They don't have to read the word. They're just pressing the OR, right? And so I won't use that. So that's one of my criteria. And then, but I like to be able to stack it so my student can win, because I, work with students who have been beaten down so much by the system that they need a good proportion of winning. And I have students where I'll say, okay, that student needs to lose every once in a while, but I want to know that I can generally have the student be successful. My students don't tend to like timed games, and they don't like losing because there's always been too much pressure on that. So I try to take that away. So we know of WordWall and quizzes. If you could just drop in the chat, are you familiar with WordWall and quizzes and Kahoot and some of those other gaming sites? You've heard about them? Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to spend time with that because most people know about those. So I'm going to talk about other things we can do that are more specific to what we do as an OG, either teacher or tutor. Okay. From this point, I'm not going to share. Let me just go. So my slide deck is more to keep me on task, and you are going to get a site that has all of these links. But the links might not be useful unless you've been through and know what's going on here. Okay, so one of the things I like to do for okay, let me back up. I was going to try to segment all of my work by this is what I do for visual drill, auditory drill, high frequency word drill. And then it's like, but I can use this for this and this and this. It became easier to organize it based on platform. So I'm going to organize it based on platform and then just kind of point out what I've used it for. Okay, does that make sense? So I know by skill, it's not as cohesive, but it was easier to explain platforms. So the first one I want to show you is Wheel of Names. Are you familiar with Wheel of Names? Most of you, do you know Wheel of Names? Have you used it? Yes, no? I can't. So Wheel of Names is used to randomize names. If you look at their site, here, Wheel of Names, in fact, if you just put in Wheel of Names, random name picker, you would put the oh shoot, I thought it would come up with their generic. They have a list of students' names. You would spin it, and so you could know who to call on. But for us, I would put in something like my graphemes, and I'm going to spin it. And so it's entirely customizable. It's easy to do. You can write them in. I could take one of my Google Sheets, my spreadsheets, take a list of whatever it is I want to put in, copy it in here, and off we go. And I like to put in some kind of physical movement. So I'll put in one, dance it or wiggle or sing a song or whatever it is that the student likes. And I know this boy I'm playing with today hates dance it. So I'm going to do like pineapple pickers or whatever, burpees or something. But I can just quickly say, oh, we're not doing dance it. We are going to do, I won't do a burpee, but my student is going to do a burpee. There we go. And now it has changed on the wheel. And do you see all the ads? Right? Who wants ads? They go to full screen, no ads. And what I like to do to make it a game is I will keep notes on something. And if I'm playing with a group, it's one group against another. If I'm playing with a student, it's me and the student. And I don't mind that I have to say a phoneme because, I want them to hear me too. So who wants to play with me? Pick one person. Someone would just unmute and say, I'm here, please.
I would play.
Okay. So I'm going to keep notes on something separate. And I don't know who I've got, but
It's Carol.
Carol and me. So here we go. Carol, the first one's for you. Sounds are.
G.
And do you know the other one?
I only see it. Hang on. I just see a G on my. It's popped
I know.
up
Do you know
the
other? Do you know the other sound?
I'm sorry.
Do you know the other sound of this? Excellent. You've got 2 points. And I play with my student. If the student gets it, I remove it. If the student didn't get it, I might leave it on. So we get it again. And I play that if my student says my sound before I do, they get to steal my point. So while I'm talking, my student generally, oh, you beat me? Oh, you stole my point. That's another point for you. Here we go, Carol. Good job. You were faster than I was. Carol, this one's for you. Do you know the sound?
E.
Good. That's one of the sounds. Do you know the other common sound? We might not have gone over it yet.
I.
So it's A.
I know what it really is. I do know what it is.
It is A and E. Good job, Carol. You got 1 point, but you know what? We hadn't taught that other sound yet. A and E. Okay, so I'm going to remove that because that's what you've learned. Good job. I was just wondering because sometimes you pick up things faster than I teach them. This one's for me. My sound is R. Ooh, I got you this time. I said it before you did. I've got a point. So we'll play back and forth. I'm going kind of quickly now because I have a lot to do, but generally I go a little slower because I know it takes a little time to show up on my students' side.
How do you remove, when you say after they say it, you remove it? How do you remove it?
So this button says removes. So it's not, it's been taken out, so it won't show up again. But if say this was the one we just introduced and you didn't get it, I would say, that's okay, the sound is A, and I'll leave it in there so it's still there. So it's entirely customizable. You can customize the words, you can customize during the spin, after the spin, what it looks like. You can change the appearance, you can change the colors, you know, everything. You can put a little something in the middle, entirely customizable. And like, you could have it spin for 10 seconds. Why would I want that? I want it to go quickly. So I have it spin for 2 seconds, and you know, it could be 1 second. I could go through and get rid of all of the ones except for the, you know, what my student has learned. So only review what my student has learned. And for kids who balk at doing a card drill, I do this once a week or so. Okay, but I don't use this only for a card drill. I might do this, and the student has gone over, this was a what spelling list, and you know, they're going to tell me which R controlled fits in there.
I'm watching my friend give her games presentation right now, and it's wonderful, period. I can give you the link if you want to join, period.
Thank you for saying it's wonderful. Whoever
Oh,
that was.
hi. I didn't know it was muted.
Okay.
Go
Okay,
back to the
Hi, it's great. Hi, Emily.
Hi. I can do their high frequency words and do the review of their high frequency words for reading, not for spelling, but just for reading. So someone said something?
that was me. I'm sorry. I really like the one with the Bossy R. Can you just like go back to that real quick?
Mhm.
I like that. Thank you.
So whatever the spelling is, like, you know, if you've got a choice and they've been studying it, I put it in here, and we play it this way. It's just another way to use a free resource that's out there in a way that supports my work, and kids like to be able to vary things. I could put points to it. I let my kids steal my turn if I'm playing with them, and give them that little extra chance to make sure that they're focusing on, even when I'm going to say it, they're still focusing, because you know how kids will zone out if they think it's someone else's turn. So and I give them a point for every sound they know, and kids tend to like it. And entirely customizable, and you don't have to see any of the ads, and you can make it shareable. So if you make one and share it with your group of friends, and then everyone has it. So
Sorry, Emily, what did you say you did for kids so that they won't zone out? How do you keep everybody engaged?
So I give them the chance to answer on my turn. You know, you play games with cards and things, and if someone else is supposed to answer, child A doesn't pay any attention to child B's answer. But if I give them the chance to steal my answer, it keeps them focused, keeps them engaged. So that's Wheel of Names. It is free. If you sign in, you can save all of your wheels, and you can share your wheel. I'm back. Okay. Thankfully. All right. I'm so sorry about that. So that's Wheel of Names. Most of us know word wall. I use the cards some for practice of high frequency words. And again, I might put in a wiggle or dance it or whatever. And if I'm doing an assessment, like, you know, core phonics assessment, if I show the kids the screen that has 20 words on the core phonics assessment and they freak out, right? Because it's like, you want me to read 20 words? No, I want you to read 20 words for, you know, 4 different pages. But showing it to them on a leaf, hello, just makes it a little less onerous, right? So this is just the words from the core phonics assessment, and we go through these. Oh, now you have to sing a song. Okay, let's sing. And then I keep my record sheet so I can record my phonics assessment. But in any case, the word wall games, if you're familiar with it, there's a lot of games you can use. I don't tend to use too much because I find that either it gets too fast, or the kids want to just try to answer and not read the words. But there are good games on WordWall. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Bingo Baker. Bingo Baker is a free, let me just show you the website, is a free site, and I used it for years free. I used it for years free. Oh, and here it's coming up with my sign in. Sorry, I thought I was trying to get to the main site. I eventually paid them. It's now $25 for a lifetime, and you can save all of your bingo cards in one place. And it was worth it to me. You don't have to pay it. You just save the link. If you make something, just save the link to it. So I might use Bingo Baker to do auditory drill. And here, for instance, on this one, I put in my graphemes that I want and make my card, and I can play it, but I can print off. You can print off as many cards as you want, and everyone has a different card. You can play online, generate the card, and I would send that link to the student, and the student plays online, and then you can mark it, like what says I, and it says IGH, and I says I, and what else do I have that says I? IE says I, and Y says I, whatever it is. I can do an auditory drill on a bingo card, and we'll play until we've got 4 in a row, or we can just clear it and now go into the next one, what says E, etc. So bingo is often not a high, if you get them to think about what sounds they're thinking. But when you just play it with words and you read the word and they find the word, that's of use for students who are just still decoding. But I might use it for a vowel intensive. Not this one, this one. Nope. Let me find it. I might use it for a vowel intensive with just the short vowels. And we'll go through, the sound is what's, and we'll play vowel intensive, or, mat, say mat, and, mat. A says and mat, and we can go through and play a regular vowel intensive on this. I like to use this also for vocabulary review. And so this was a list of vocabulary words. It was a wonders from my 2nd grade kids. And we'll play a couple of games with this. So I just take my lists of words, pop it in, it populates a bingo. Everybody's bingo card is a little bit different, and we can play it. So we all would play bingo, and I'm not going to I rarely just read the word. I will give a clue, like I want you to find a word that's a noun, or if I've taught nouns, I want you to find a word that's a thing, something that I can say more than one of. Can you find something that is a thing that you can have more than one of? Of course, I pick one. Oh, I can have more than one guess. Great. How do you make it plural? And have my student tell me, I'm going to add my ES or whatnot. So I'll do this for vocabulary review. And I just take the list of words that we've got, stick it in there, and we've got a vocabulary review. I also do a generic game, but I'll show you. So we're going to play a game here. I'm going to send this. This is how we would do it. I'm going to send this. It's now copied to my clipboard. It's coming to you in the chat. And this is, a vocabulary review game that we might play if we had 2 minutes left in the game. The kids have this. I've printed up, so I've given it to you. If you could pull up this, and I'm going to show mine. And you can generate your card. And we're going to play 20 questions. I'm also going to give you this document here. because my kids have to learn how to ask and how to think critically. So you can look at my list of questions, or you can make up your own. But I give kids questions to help them think. So I'm going to think of a word. So unmute yourself, and you're going to try to guess my word. But you have to ask me 3 questions before you can make a guess. So someone pop out and ask me 1 question about my word. Hold on, let me think about a word. Okay, I've got a word. Ask me a question, and you're going to try to determine what my word is. So go ahead and unmute.
Does it have more than one syllable?
Yes, it does. Now you see, you as a student can say, oh, okay, I'm going to get rid of this word, this word, this word, this word. And I'm going to get you to read lots and lots of words and think critically about the words. Yes, it does have more than one syllable. Next question, somebody. Anybody? I'm going to say, okay, does it have a R-controlled vowel sound? No, it doesn't. So now you're going to cross out all of those. Someone else, ask a word or ask a question.
Could you do something as basic as, does it start with a K? Or
I don't like that, but you know, for my very beginning students, I don't have kinders, right? So my intervention starts at 1st grade. So I rarely work with kinders. I suppose I might if it was a kinders, class, but someone else.
Can it be broken into 2 real words?
No, it cannot. That's a good question.
Does it have a silent letter?
Yes, it does.
Does it have a open syllable?
It does, but it does not have a long vowel sound. So if you're defining it as only with long vowel sounds, no, it actually has a schwa sound. That's
Is it-
because, sorry, I know some people define open as only with a long vowel, but sorry, go ahead.
Is it above?
It is. Good job. You did that. I think that was 5 questions. Excellent work. But anyway, I can play this with for a vocabulary review, but get them to think critically about things, and then I'm getting them to read. They don't know that they're reading lots and lots of words in the process thinking about it. So it accomplishes a lot of my goals. So, you can ask words about, is, part of speech or whatever it is, depending on your level of student. But after I've played it where I guess the word, or I choose the word, I can have my student choose the word and everyone else does it. But it takes some modeling because it's hard to think critically. Kids have to be taught how to think critically, right? So this is one of the things I use. And my 2nd to 3rd graders have learned how to do this. And I see them getting faster and faster over time. Okay. So bingo. I also have a generic review that this is one that I would print up. I might change it during the year depending on, how much they've learned. But I would print this up, put this in their binders in the classroom if I'm in the classroom, and everyone's got a different card. And we'll just take out our card decks, which I put somewhere before I dropped everything. Oh, right here, depending on the level. Here, so this generic has Latin. So this is one of my older ones. And I'll just take, okay, the word is, and they have to read the word and then choose which square to mark. So someone might say, oh, this one has a suffix. And someone might say, I'm going to choose that this one has a prefix. And someone else might say, oh, I'm going to choose that this one has a vowel team. So, just getting them to interact with their vocabulary, with their words, reading them, looking at it, thinking critically. So this one I keep, in a sheet protector in their binders. And if I have a minute, it's like, okay, pull out your vocab for the week and let's play bingo. And I'll say the word, pull out the word, show the word, whatever. Okay. There is a Alice Keeler. Do you know who Alice Keeler is? Anybody? Alice Keeler is a Google guru, and she made a bingo template where it can all be done in Google Sheets. So if you're interested in doing a whole class Google a bingo, and where you, the teacher, can see everybody's, go to alicekeeler.com and look at her bingo template. The problem with this is I don't see everybody's until they show it to me. I'll let them share their screen, or if we're in person, I can see what they're doing. But virtually, I don't see everybody's. One-on-one, I can see it because we'll just work on one sheet. Okay, but if you're interested in the whole class, go to alicekeeler.com. Okay. I'm going to give you the finger twister and the the printable version. I'm going to show you what I have on the side. It's up here. Let me get rid of some of these that I've already talked about. Those are questions like for 20 questions, does it have a suffix? Does it have a prefix? Does it have a base that means, break or whatever it is? I give the kids a list of questions when we're starting, just to model. High frequency words. Okay. Sorry, I apologize. I'm a little off kilter with the my sound issues. I thought I had dealt with it last week. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I've also included on what I'm going to give to you. This is my cheat sheet for correspondences. So when I'm doing, you probably all have developed one of your own. So if I'm doing a, auditory drill, I've got a cheat sheet there if I need it. What says I, and I've got my list. And so I've attached this with what you've got. Okay, and so that's this, and there are these links. This is my landscape finger twister board, where we can just do it with our fingers, and we can do our either spelling review, or we can do it with sounds. Okay, here we go. Oh, shoot, this is for you. That's your copy. Back up. This is for me to show you. I use Google Sheets a lot, and for my like a vowel drill, this is one of my Google Sheets. So Google Sheets, are you familiar with it? So it is a spreadsheet, but why would I use it for accounting? I use it for everything else. This is my one for vowels, and I might play a game. Well, here, so these are the vowel cards like in bingo, except I put it in here. And what I would do is take the link and share it with my student. I'm going to put this out there, and if a couple of people, let's see, I don't know who hasn't want to join me, just say that you're joining me and say your name and come and join me with this. Everyone else will get a copy, but someone join me now.
Laura.
Laura, and we can, all right, we'll just work with Laura. So Laura, did you get the link?
Yes.
Okay, so join me in the sheet. And are you familiar with Google Sheets, Laura?
A little bit.
So down on the bottom, you can, if you still see my screen, down on the bottom are the various sheets. So think of a pad of paper and you've got various sheets. So right now, this is the one that says bingo games. Can you find bingo games?
Got it.
You're going to play on the left. I'm going to play on the right. And you
Okay.
can either, I've done this where I just annotate on Zoom, or you can do the fill. And I'll say the word is mat. What's the sound? And I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to fill it that color. And you're on the left side, and you can fill yours.
That's where fill, go to. Okay, that's where I don't know how to fill it.
So up on the what do you call this part?
The menu. I go under file, edit, view.
Below that, there are icons. You see
Okay.
Lexend Extra, the font size, bold, italics.
Yeah, that's
The A. The next one over is fill. And right now.
Oh, I'm on view only. Does that make a difference?
Oh,
request edit.
I'm sorry. I thought I had it where.
That's okay.
I must have made another copy of it. There we go.
So do I need to go back to the link again? Maybe the new link, or no? Okay.
Just refresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Just refresh. Okay.
So anyway, we can play bingo together. And I used to just have one bingo card, but my student would say, how do I know you're not cheating? So it's like, okay, I'll put mine up too. So we have 2 bingo cards here, and we would play. And
okay, got it.
And we would go for, this is just a regular vowel intensive, and we would play it this way. Okay, everyone see how this might work? And I have the same thing. If you go to the next one on vowel graphemes, we can do it as, the sound is E. How do we spell E? And I might say this one is E. E says E. EY says E. Y says E. And we'll sit there and play like this. Okay. And we'll try to go for a bingo.
I like that. That's really good.
The next one says sort. And I know people have used Google Slides to do sorts. I actually think Google Sheets is easier to do sorts. And I just did one with the E and the I, since where I am, that's the one most confused. And you can grab your thing. 6, that's a I. Net, that's a E. And oops, I just did that. So to move anything, Laura, try to, when you go to move it, you must click it once first so you get a box around it.
Okay.
Click one of the icon, the pictures, and then move it. So you have to click it. And the rest of you who are looking, if I just try to move this, you see it says it's not moving. But if I click it first to get the box around it, then I can move it. Red, So it's super easy to make sorts in Google Sheets, because you just go to insert, image, overcell, image search. And what do we want to look for? What's another E or short E, short I picture?
Let's see.
Pig.
Pen.
Well,
Pig.
Pig? Great. Which pig do I? And I'll often have my students say, oh, I like that one. Oh, okay. We'll choose that one.
I really didn't know you could make Google Sheets so interactive. I had no idea how to do this. This is a great resource.
I'm actually going to do a class on Google Sheets for literacy teachers in a month or so, because I feel like it's such an underused platform for us. And there we have another icon we can put in. Okay. The other thing I have on this sheet is a game. So this is my generic game. I use this all over the place, hundreds of places. And here's the deal. Laura, if you would hit new card, it's going to tell you that you have to authorize it. The automations are not written by Google. And would you share your screen?
Okay.
The automations that I have in there are not written by Google. And they're going to say, danger. Oh my goodness. Potentially life-threatening. So it says, do you want to continue? So before you go ahead and hit continue. And it's going to pop up and say, are you sure you are threatening, your life is being threatened? It's not going to do it. Have you already used any of mine?
I might have it. I might have Emily. Mm-hmm.
If you've already used something of mine, they'll say, okay, I guess you trust Emily. And they might just ask you to allow it. Someone else who's never used anything of mine, it'll come up and say, oh my goodness, do you want to throw your life away? And you have to go to potentially unsafe, yes, advanced things, and then sign your life away. But would you please go up to extensions up near the top? It's on your menu bar, the menu, file, edit, view, insert, format, data, tools, extensions. Below that,
Okay.
by the file.
Okay. Here? No.
File, edit, view. Sorry, below that. Below that on the Google Sheets menu.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I'm not following my, let's see. Okay, so file, edit, view up here.
Under where it says copy of vowel intensive to share.
Oh, got it.
And then over
okay.
at extensions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
I do this with my students sometimes. So yeah. Okay, so hit extensions, go to app script. If you ever get something from somebody else and they say it's potentially dangerous, just go there and look at the app script. If it's English enough, it's done in, fairly English. Okay, so this gets a value. This one sets the value. This one sets a formula. This one activates a range. This one, you can see what it's doing. It doesn't necessarily make sense to you, but it's not saying write this to the person's file, gather this information.
Oh.
Okay, so you can always look. Okay, so you can just X out of that file. Go up to your tab and just close the tab. Okay. So in any case, go ahead and hit new card. So I've written this so that every possibility that comes up, you have at least one, if not two, you have at least two, if not three choices of what you might say. The word is his. What's the sound?
Eh?
Correct. Roll your dice. And move your piece.
Oh, wow.
So you have to tap your piece once to get the box around it.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Once you do that, move it. There we go. And we can go through and play on a game board. It takes a little bit longer than just doing our vowel intensives, but it gives a choice. So we have something else we can do if a student. So I have students that say, I just want to play a game. It's like, okay, you want to play a game? You want to play a game board game? Sure. We're going to do our vowel intensive that way. So it gives me the option to say, here's the skill I want to cover. We can do it in this format if that's the format you want to play right now. Okay. All right. So
forgive me for interrupting, Emily. I've had some questions in the chat.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, there's a participants wondering about, you had been typing in a Google Doc about all kinds of resources to share. Is that forthcoming? I know that you shared the bingo card and this spreadsheet.
Yes.
Was there something else that was shared?
Oh, there's going to be a lot to share. Do you have to leave? Is that what's going on? I'm going to, could you stop share, please?
Yes.
And then,
yes,
I can take it from you. I will go ahead and put it up now, but it might not make much sense to you. Copy shareable link. I'll put that in the chat now.
Can you send any of this by email?
I'm actually just offering this to the people who've spent their time with me today. And please.
Well, I've been here since 2. I just have to go now.
Yeah, I get it. It's long. So you may not understand all of the playing cards I owe yet, but the other things are there. Okay. And if you work through the video, you'll understand playing cards IO, which is where I'm
Okay.
going to now. Okay, so that's, and I'm going to ask you not to share it around, but rather to, I don't have any of this for sale yet on TPT, but I will eventually, just direct people to that or have people write to me and they can throw something my way if they want to. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Playing Cards IO. Playing Cards IO is one of my favorite new tools of the last 2 years, and they have made so many changes. Over the last couple of years. And I'm not sharing my screen, am I? All right. Here we go. So Playing Cards IO is a tabletop gaming site where people, and they, I think they existed before COVID, but they had just very few games and it was very small, and now it's blossomed. And I've written to them a couple of times and say, hey, this is really useful for education. I just want to make sure that you're going to stay around. Of course, I think they were too busy expanding that I never heard back from them. Anyway, but they have expanded. They've made it much more user friendly. So it is a game that guys get together on Discord and they play games together. And this is a site that houses the games. So you create a room and your friends join your room and you all play together and you're all on Discourse or phone or Zoom or something to provide an audio. And I've used this in person and I use this in Zoom or Meet. So it is the one platform that I have found is interactive no matter what you or your student is using. So schools may block it if a school locks down everything, they may lock this one down. So you want to try it if you're working on school managed devices, whether this is locked down or not. So you bring your own chat, you're going to join a room code, and they have all these games set up to play. And when I first found them, they had, I think, 5 games. And now they've got all this that's already set up that you can play these games. But I don't want to play these games. I want to play something educational. So you can make a game. Okay, you can make a custom room. You make your own games and then share that room with others. So I will show you. I'm on the wrong window. Some of the games. So today we're talking about drill, and I did in the workshop on morphology games. I showed a lot of morphology games here. I'm going to show you my card drill here using Playing Cards IO. So I'm going to send this link out, and I'm going to just have there we go. If I could just, for right now, I'll just have one person. I don't know who's still here who hasn't joined me. Someone unmute and say that you're going to join me, please. Somebody's in. Okay. Who's in? Who's got this pink dot that's moving around? Say your name, please. Anybody?
I'm just observing. I don't think that's me.
It might be you, so play with me anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so now you and I are in. So I might do this with one student. I have all my graphemes up here. It's shuffled. It's all automated. Ready? So I'm going to put out a card. Tell me the sound.
Oh.
And do you know any of the other sounds?
Ah.
Okay. And I might say whatever it is I'm going to say. I know it as ow, oh, ooh, but so if you got it, we would hit there. It goes into your pile. This is mine. This is the O. I'm going to put it here. And this one for you.
T.
Perfect. Oops, sorry. I forgot to click it. This one's for me. The sound is A. For you.
Ah.
Okay. And I think you know the other sound, the long. Good job. I might put it back so that you have a chance to get to it again. Try this one. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to make it shuffle. Here we go.
E.
Excellent job. Okay, this one's for me. Or. And we go through just like we would do the cups or whatever. For you, the sound is
J.
perfect. And we can do it just like with the cups. And then once we have it all, we might, I didn't play long enough to get a short vowel sound. Let me just flip through. Okay. And did I get any consonants? So after we've done quite a bit, I might do it for blending. Okay. And the syllable is?
Nudge.
Excellent job. I didn't play long enough, but because I have so much to show you, but oh, I've got a blank in there. I'm gonna have to fix that. I would then do blending, putting up for us to blend.
So just so you know, when I clicked the link in the chat where you sent this game, it gave me two options. One was to join and one was to observe. And I clicked as an observer, yet here I am.
Ah, see, I've never observed, so I don't even know. But we would go through just like with the cups, looking at the grapheme, saying the sounds, and then we can blend from it. That's one. Here's another one. This one I would just do for a spell. This isn't really a game. I would just do this. I just threw it in there because for some of my virtual kids, if I'm using Elkonin boxes to tap out sounds and then spelling them, whatever. So I have this in there for you. That's also there. I have a slap it version. And I'm going to share this. This is also on what I've given you. So if someone would join me here. Somebody would like to join me? Miss Trina, how about you? Have you been in with me? Or Amy?
Okay, I think I clicked on the link. I think I'm here.
Okay.
Trina.
Okay, so I'm going to set up our game. This is exactly the same thing, except we're playing slap. So this one I've given the kids the option that they're going to play their card. So you can press this one here that says play one.
Okay.
If you get a slap, you want to hit your slap button. You're on the left side, I'm on the right side.
Okay.
So hit your play one, and you're going to tell me the sound.
Okay, it's not working. How do I? Okay, loading, enter. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sound is?
Cool.
Good. Oh. Keep going.
Whoa.
Oh, my turn.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, so we take
Did I
turns
do
pressing.
that right?
Yes, take turns pressing. I should, take turns pressing, and when a slap comes up, you hit your slap, and then we see how many points we have. And I have it where if you didn't get it, you can put it back in your pile to try again. Okay, so just a slap it version of working with phonograms. Okay, this one is a group. I would like everybody to, how many people do we have here? I don't know how many people are still.
About 25, 27.
Still in. I can't see everybody. I would like 5 people to join me. So 5 people, if you haven't joined yet.
I'll join.
Okay, come in and then under one of these things where it says player 1, player 2, you can change so count or just say I'm player 1. and claim a spot. I need 5 people
Is
to
there,
join me.
is there a new link?
Didn't I put it in? Sorry.
Oh, I think you did. Sorry. Is this the playing cards? I don't know if it's,
Hold on. Let me try it again. Let me just set it. Oh, you know what? I didn't hit enter. That's my fault. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
So name a
I'm
spot.
trying
Do you
to get
see?
in. Okay, I think I'm in. I'm Julie.
Okay, just tell me player 1, player 2. Everyone pick a spot. Put your dot by your spot so we can see there's a dot by player 1.
Oh, I don't have a dot.
No,
How do I dot?
your cursor. To the rest of us, your cursor shows up as a dot.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, so I see someone by player 1. If you want, go up to player where the title is and put your name in there.
where? I don't see where
Do
to
you
do
see where it
that.
says
I
player
don't see
1?
a title.
Sorry, player 1. Just click on where it says
Oh,
player 1 and put your name there. Okay, Amy's player 1 there.
I'm sorry, I'm totally lost.
So I'm going to go ahead and take, I'll take player 3. You see that I put my name there? And
No, I'm not seeing that at all.
who's that?
This is Julie. Okay, now I see.
Okay, Stephanie's
All
there.
right.
I've got Amy, Stephanie, Emily, Julianne, and Angela, and Carol. Okay, we've got 6 people. We are going to play Go Fish. The beauty of playing Cards I.O. is that the cards that are in your hand, no one else can see. So if you're just watching my game, you can watch. I'm going to take, if you grab your number, Amy and Stephanie, grab your number 7 and drag it down to the white space on the bottom. That's your hand. Drag it all the way down and let it go. It looks like you're going to see it, but they disappear in that person's hands. No one else can see it. So Stephanie, grab your number 6 and take all the cards into your hand. If you grab the number, the whole stack goes. Stephanie, grab the number 3. There we go. And Carol, the number 7. Do you see Julianne? Can you take your cards?
I'm trying to figure it out because I think I'm looking at your screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm going to keep my screen up for the recording, but you need to look at yours. There you go. So if you grab the number, the whole stack goes. There we go. No one else can see what's in my hand. I can't see what's in anyone else's hand. Amy, we're going to go down from Amy, Stephanie, Emily, Julie, Angela, Carol. Down one side, down the other. Amy, you're just going to ask, does anyone have, and name a sound of what you have in your hand? We're matching sounds.
Does anybody have the sound?
Ooh, now you might have to tell me which because there are some as in.
Yes, as in, oh, what do you mean?
Like as in her, or as in first, or bird, or?
No, it's as in, I can't think of a word right now. Fur, like an animal's fur.
Oh, okay. Does anyone have the as in fur, or bird, or first, or of the 6 of us playing?
No.
Okay,
No.
Go fish. Grab another card from that and take it. Oh, take it down into your hand. Stephanie, you go.
Okay, does anybody have a "w" like you would use in a question?
Ooh, nope.
No.
Okay, so
somebody
okay,
did.
now,
Right?
yeah, so you put yours out, make a pair, and then put it into your pile under your name as your winnings. Okay. Yeah.
So that, and then that.
Now you take both your cards and put it into your winnings back under your name, under your name, Stephanie.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, she's already got 2. You got 1, so you can either play Go Again or you can just play Moving On. I'm just going to do Moving On. Just, I already have it. I didn't even notice. I've got sh, but that's not my turn, guys. I still get to ask. Does anyone have
Say that one again.
And I don't know if my sound's being weird. Ugh.
I think I have that one.
I do.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
That one.
TA.
Okay, so my sounds must be off. So yes, okay. Julianne.
Does anyone have
Nope.
Go fish.
So just take it. So what I like about Go Fish, oh, you've got a match. What's the sound?
boy,
Excellent. Where do you use it?
boy or toy?
Right at the end of
At
a
the
word.
end.
Yeah, usually it could be elsewhere, but it's usually at the end. Okay, but what I like about Go Fish is that the student has to look at the grapheme and think the sound.
Mhm.
And then the other students have to hear the sound and convert it to a grapheme. So you've got both directions going in one game. Okay, so this is a nice group game. I obviously don't, Go Fish is a little harder with 2 people, but it's especially when there's this many pieces. And go ahead, let's give Angela and Carol a turn, and then I'll show you the components.
Does anyone have a like bug?
No.
No.
Do you know the other sounds? I think you know the long sound.
Or you? Ooh.
Good job. There are other sounds too, but we'll learn those soon. Go ahead and take those. And Carol.
I want the sound aw like olive, or it could say oh.
Nice job. Nope. Go Fish.
Okay.
Okay. So you get the idea of playing Go Fish as a group with the cards. I've done this in person. I would have a stack of cards that was like 2 inches thick because I'd have 70 of them times 2. And then I'd have to sort them afterwards. And then I'd have to say, oh, this group doesn't know this one and this one and this one and this one. Let me pull those out.
Mhm.
I had it and I did it, but it was always so much work doing it in person with physical cards. So if you would come back and look at my screen now, I'm going to show you how easy it is to change. Come back to the Zoom meeting and my screen will show. So the edit table button, I tell the kids, you can use the full screen and that makes it nice and big. No one should touch the upper ones, but I will show the upper ones, the edit. So this allows me to edit anything on the table. I can move the pieces. I can add an extra holder. It's like, oh, we had one more person. Let me put it down here and put another person in there. And I will let the person edit their label here and whatnot. I can do all sorts of things to customize it. And I can look at this. So I can change the cards. I have a template in there that tells it what I want it to look like. And the add and remove, here are my cards. And I've got 2 of each. And let's say, you know what, these kids know all these initial alphabet ones. I'm going to get rid of them. We don't need to practice on P anymore. And we don't need to practice on S anymore. Get rid of it. Gone. And I just zero those out. But they're having to learn, they're learning their, maybe they're learning AW and AU or whatever it is. I just add the cards in, take out the ones I don't want. No more sorting cards and no more like, oh, which ones do they know? I have to pull these out for this group because they don't know these yet. It's super fast to set up.
Excuse me, Emily, did you say that it was possible for participants to click that edit button and mess around in there? Or
It
edit
is.
table button? Okay.
It is possible. I ask my students not to. What I do is you know which kids mess things up, right? I have one student that will always do what I tell him what he's not supposed to. Before I do anything with that student, I make a copy of the game. And there's 2 ways to do that. You can go to room option, and I'll show you. And you can just click copy of the game. And this one is John's. Am I typing in here? This one is John's. Why isn't it typing? What else is going wrong with my setup today? Okay, I'm at a loss. Oh, here, I'm supposed to do it here. Hello. John's. What did I do? Phonogram. Okay, and now he's only going to play with that one. If he messes it up, I'm going to delete it afterwards anyway. But it's super easy to make a copy. Okay. Now, I'm giving you room backups. So with a room backup, see, I'm not going to give you my games. Like what you have right now, don't use. Don't use it again. But you can make a copy of it. Everyone can go to copy room and make a copy of your room. And this is your own copy. The other thing though is I'm going to give you room backups. And that means I have backed up my room and I'm going to share it with you. You're going to just go to import from file, take the room backup. Let's see. Here's one of them. Here's a room backup and open it up. And now you've got the game that's in your room, your house. Okay. So you just pop that game from the room backups that I've given you, pop it into import from file, and now you've got your own copy of a game. Does that make sense?
No.
No?
Could you show it one more time?
Sure. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of the room backups in the chat. Everyone can download it. Oh, wrong thing. Hello. I will put the room backup for the slap it. Now I'm keeping my backups in a bubble up, which allows me to give shareable links, and it's a little easier. Copy shareable link. And I'm going to put that in here. It's a file. Nope, I didn't do it. Hello, what am I in? I'm in the wrong thing. I am so sorry, everybody. I thought I had fixed all my the computer issues, and then apparently I didn't. Okay.
Don't worry, Emily, this is so wonderful and I'm learning so much. I can't imagine that I would voluntarily be doing work stuff in an afternoon on a Saturday, but this has just really been delightful and helpful.
I'm so glad because
I second that too, Emily. And technology is just that way. But once this playing card website has opened up so many avenues for me for kids that middle schoolers who are really down and out about reading, and they will play with me forever on this website. It's a great one.
Okay,
I've learned a lot from you.
I gave you, please tell me that worked. I just sent a shareable link that would.
It worked.
Okay, now just download the file to your computer. And who wants to share their screen? And we're going to show it from your end. Janice, are you still here, Janice?
I'm here. Okay, sure.
Let me stop share and you share, please.
You want me to show them how to?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I don't have playing cards I open, but
no, you okay.
We'll do this.
Okay. So show them.
There we go.
Download.
Okay, so on my computer, my download's coming right here.
Okay.
And so I am going to go all the way down. There's all my games. And then y'all are in the way, so I can't get any. Did I pass it? No. Oh, I've got to go here.
Okay, I'll show you a faster way.
Okay.
But
import.
Now
and
you
then
just
I drag it down. And then I click here. What did I do wrong? I do this all the time.
I can't.
Right there.
Okay. So it's already uploading. enter. Now this is her copy of the game. It's on her, in her room, her house. She owns it, and you all can do the same. So actually, let me show you my shortcut.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So for those of you who use Chrome here, these are my bookmarks. I don't know if you know this about bookmarks. If I want to bookmark something, let's say this is, I'm going to bookmark this, and you go and hit bookmark, and it says, it has this long name, right? I know this is the only Google Sheets that I want, and I want it every time. I just get rid of the whole name, and it pops up with just the icon. Now it's way down here, and it's just the icon. And I move this icon all the way up here. Now it happens that I have lots of Google Sheets, but I said, oh, that's the one I always want. It's there as just an icon. So I can stack all of my icons here. My Tutorbird, my Drive, my OneTab, my Classroom, all of these. So I have my playing cards IO. I have my account set as an icon here. And this is my account. But Janice, you'll like this one. I have this one bookmarked to here.
Okay.
So all you do is you go navigate to that page and bookmark it. And then take this little icon, and I put PC here because that one's for me to upload games separate from my account. And I just hit my little bookmark, and then I just drop it right from my downloads right into there, and it happens. I know.
The link that I'm clicking on is taking me to Slap It.
Yes, I think that's the one I sent.
So I'm confused on how to download it.
Oh, the last one I sent in the chat is a shareable link from Bubble Up, and that's the way I've done it. That makes it easier for me to manage things. Do you see that in the chat that says?
Yeah, I do, but I just don't. It doesn't look like what.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But do you see up in the top right corner? It's a download. You've got the download option.
I did see that, and I did do it, but it says my computer can't read it.
Yes, that's okay. It'll go into your downloads, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now navigate to playingcards.io/import.
Oh, got it. Okay. I wish I was at school and had my two screens. This would be so much easier.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So once you get to where you can import it, you take that downloaded wherever you have it and just drag it in here, and then it imports for you.
Got it.
Okay. There are so many features for Playing Cards IO that it's like I'm seeing new features all the time. Carol, were you the one that told me about the spread?
Yes.
I
want to tell you about.
I never saw that before. That's amazing.
Did you know you can make the hand area larger and make it go all the way across the bottom of the screen?
I haven't tried that yet.
When you're in edit,
yes. Oh, actually, yes, I did. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. And I want to make it so I can stack 2 layers.
Me too.
And Emily, if I could say thank you to Carol. Carol, thank you so much on the Barton Tutoring website. I use all of your things, and you've just been a godsend to me as a tutor. So thank you so
that
much.
Makes me happy. I love to share stuff. So
yeah, you guys have really been great mentors.
Okay.
Well, it's been fun to make them. We like making them.
I know my kids say, because I used to do creative things. I would do costume design for one of the local theaters, or set design, or scenic painting, things like that. And theaters shut down, and so it's like my kids are saying, okay, you're making games and you're designing these things because you're not in creating elsewhere. I said, yeah, I know.
Right.
know.
It's when you say creating games is my hobby.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's kind of weird, but
Okay.
Is the weather.
Okay. I'm going to show you. I tend to make some generic games, and then I just pop in new sets of words or whatever into my games. This is one where we also can do a either a like a card drill or an auditory drill. So I just have this generic game in here. We move the pieces around, and this part here is really tricky because you keep trying to get past here, and then you go back 3, and then you go back 4, and or you land on this one. You missed this one, but you land on this one. You slide back here, and you're back at it again. So this is our Shark's Alley. But what I'll do with this one is we can do it as a card drill or one sound. Great, we moved it. Oh, back to start. Now you're back here. Next sound is k. That's me. One sound. And zzz. Oh, she got 2 sounds. And oh, I got 1 sound. And one sound. Oh, you're back to start again. So I give kids the option to say, I don't want to answer that one because they're thinking, oh, I know that has 1 sound or 2 sounds, and I'm going to land on the wrong one. They get to try again and get a different card. So, I like that they're having to think, and especially when they get around here, they want to land on this one for an extra turn. They don't want to land on this one or this one. And they're thinking, okay, that one has 3 sounds that I know, so I'm not going to answer that one. Or, oh, that's the one I want to answer. And they'll do that. So it just gives them a little extra critical thinking. I love to get my kids thinking. So we can do it as a sound drill and play it here. Or I might do it as a, where I'm going to hold the card and I'll say, like, I'll just bring the cards down into my hand and I'll say, what says rrr? And they'll tell me what says rrr, and that they get to move. And then I would put a dice in. So if you want a dice, and let me show you how easy it is to put a dice in. It's so great. You come up here to edit and you go in and you say, I want a dice. Here, I want this dice. Boom, look at that. You have a dice now. Or you can put in other things that, I can have a counter. I don't do timers because my kids don't like time. And we can roll the dice. So if you answered it correctly, you're going to move 4. And I'll, pull another card into my hand. What says ow, oh, that you cannot use at the end of a word? Or for my older ones, what says ow, oh, ooh, and they can say, oh, you, and they roll the dice and then they move. So I can play it different ways by having cards and a game board. Does that make sense? And I have various generic games. So let's say I don't want to play with these. I want to play with the vocabulary words. I'm going to take the same game. I'll make a copy of it. Let's say, come to the deck, add and remove. I might say, I'm going to get rid of all of this. I won't do it now. I can say, I'm going to remove everything. And then I'm going to import a file from my Google Sheets, a CSV file or Excel file. I have a video. I don't want to take time at that today. I do have a video on importing cards. And I think, Carol, do you have one too? On how to import card decks, a CSV file. Anyway, I have one, and you can import a file. And then all of a sudden, it's the same game board, but now I have my vocabulary words that we're going to practice, or I have my spelling words, or whatever it is that we're going to practice. It's super easy. I have several generic games that I keep. I've just made a game board, put it in here, and then change out the cards. So now it looks like this. It's the same function, but oh, we got a new game. That's a win. And all I do is I make this image. I make it in Google Sheets, click on the image, and I just edit the board, and I'm going to stick in a new image. I just take in an image from my Google Sheets and pop it in here. Okay. So any image of a game board that you have, you can pop in here, and then you size it to fit your screen and you play it with whatever deck of cards you want to stick in. Okay. I have a short vowel sort for my very beginners. And I will say, okay, you get to find the words that have the sound in it. And it's like, oh, I found one. And what's the word? Tell. And they have to read it. And they get it there. And then we fill it again. And now, oh, there aren't any. Shucks. How about this one? Okay, I have bat and bath. And again, I can change the words, add words, delete words, add extra words. So this is a nice way to do a drill. And I've done it where I have the IR, EROR, or, various combinations so I can do sorts that way. So,
Hey, Emily,
Mhm.
is that menu on the right side of your screen? Is that part of playing cards or is that something
no,
else?
this is just my Epic pen. And
Oh, okay.
I find it easier to write
Okay.
with Epic Pen than annotate.
Okay.
And I usually don't have it here. Sorry. I think I was moving things around.
Oh, can you tell me what Epic Pen is? Is that something you can download like to Chrome?
Yeah, it's there's a free version that has something like 16 colors of different pens, and you can have different pens and it's just a little bit, for me, a little faster manipulating than annotate. And since I'm on it for so many hours, I tend to use that. Okay, and there's a paid version, which I don't remember how much it was, but the free version worked. Anyway, so an alternate to the annotate. So I will often have, I'm using Epic pens, my kids use annotate. Okay. And the other types of games, I do sound sorts. Any worksheet or any image you have, you can stick in as an image. So here I had done like a worksheet on vowel spellings. And my cards are just the vowels, and they bring it up here, and then we work on ow. Let's see, I think that I'm gonna put that here under ow as a now, and that goes over here, and we practice our spelling. So any worksheet you have, you can stick in as an image and then put in pieces and cards that might be the answers to that worksheet, or that might be however you want to play it. Okay, so the ability to add that game board, custom game board, that custom game board can be anything you have, any image. So I just wanted to show that. This is another one of my generic boards. I think I've sent this one in that role. So I just created a generic board on Google Sheets. It's just a grid, and I might have made this one on slides, and I did fill to make different colors, and I do the same thing, copy it, and I add different colors, and the kids like, oh, we got a new board. It was just different colors. And then, I add in the different words. This one happens to be BCCV words, and we read the word and move our dice. But it doesn't matter what you do here. This can change for every lesson by importing another set of cards. Okay. And then I play a lot of Uno because I'm wanting kids to really analyze words. So this is my very easiest affix Uno. And we will call everything, deal it out. Okay, I've got 10 cards. My student has 10 cards. And I can, wild, you can play anything on the wild, but here I can play the word get, getting, or anything with an S. So I can play on my affix, I can play on my root, and we play at Uno. And I'll play blends Uno, short vowel Unos, any set of words where I'll say, okay, you can match the initial sound, you can match the vowel sound, you can match the ending sound, you can match a suffix, whatever it is you want to match, and give them the ability to look at it and say, oh, I'm going to play reads on on gets because it also has the S. And what does that S do? Oh, that makes it, that's something he does right now. And I'm going to play walking here. And someone else will say, well, then I'll play handing because it has the ing on it, handing, just getting them more aware and playing Uno. And of course, the objective is to get rid of all the cards in your hand as with any Uno game. Okay. So those are the basic styles of games that I've shared with you and how I would use them for card drills, auditory drills, vocabulary work, just reading practice of practiced learned sounds as a review of a concept that's already been taught. I might stick those words in here and we're going to practice it this way. And I apologize, I have covered way too much in one period of time. And I'm going to just say, don't do everything. What I would like everyone to think about is, what is the area in your lesson where you can say, I could really use a little change or spice or something in this one area? Go from your point of need. If you need to have something to help with diversity, and you're like, I can't deal with Google Sheets and I can't deal with playing cards IO, then do Wheel of Names, because that's super easy to do. And if you're comfortable, then you say, hey, I'm going to go jump into playing cards IO, and I just need to spice up my concept review for learned words, and put in a game and work on that. But please go from your point of need. Instead of looking at world of possibilities, I've got to do everything. Go narrow it down and say, where's something that my lessons could benefit from a little change, or where my students would benefit from having another option. And then start there. Okay. Okay. Are there any questions that I can address now? So you have the link. You don't have to explore all of it, but it's there for you, and use what you can. And I'm going to ask you, if you want to send me something, great. If you don't, great, because these are tough times. And
Just lost your sound, Emily.
no.
No, you're back.
Okay. So I'm going to stop recording. Are there any other questions? Then I'll tell you the story.
There's a few questions in the chat. Someone
Okay.
asked, how can we make sure to find out about your other workshops?
Oh, if you want to make sure, drop me your email in the chat and I will put it on a list. I don't like to do that part of the marketing, but I will take your email and I can see this. I will do one in a couple of months on using Google Sheets for literacy teachers. I know I have that one planned and in the work. I'm building out this huge Google Sheet that has all the word lists we could possibly want, or just about. I mean, there's always more word lists, so that you can just grab word lists and stick it into things. And if you have any other suggestions of what you might need help with, please, drop me a line and say, this would be helpful. Okay. Are there any other questions? Yes.
I just wanted to double check your Venmo, because you had it up on the screen. Emily Laidlaw. Was there
Yes,
a
and
number
I
before it?
apologize. I thought I put that in the roll too. I must not have. I will send it out right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Someone mentioned in the chat, have you done one of these specifically for in-person games before, or will you be doing it again?
I did morphology games. Copy to move to email. Nope, that's not it. I did morphology games and that had in-person games as well. I didn't do one specifically for in-person games. Is that something that would be helpful?
I would love it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop recording and then I'll tell you what happened to me this week.
And you'll put your Venmo handle
I'm
in
going to put it in here. I just need to stop.